Hi everybody, and welcome to today's contribution, which is the prisons of Jeremy Bentham and Peter Singer. Animal liberation is human imprisonment. Introductions first. Jeremy Bentham was a British philosopher, and he was the inspiring source for Peter Singer's animal liberation. No Jeremy Bentham, no animal liberation / animal rights. Jeremy Bentham and Peter Singer are, philosophically speaking, inextricably linked. Let's go to prison now. This is the perfect prison. It's called the Panopticon, and Panopticon means see all or see everything. The Panopticon is the brainchild of Jeremy Bentham. And the idea of the design is that one guard monitors all the inmates without the prisoners knowing whether or not they're being watched. But they have to assume that they are being watched. And the idea behind that is that the more strictly we are watched, the better we behave. The more strictly we are watched, the better we behave. And this is obviously true. That camera watches me and I'm trying to be at my best. I don't poke my nose, I don't scratch my head, I don't do silly faces, nor do I think anything remotely politically incorrect. Or do I? Anyway, complete surveillance will change behavior, attitudes, and habits. The inmates internalize authority and they internalize obedience without authority being present, and that in turn is thought to bring about or to facilitate easier reintegration into society. Surely this whole idea of the Panopticon is the perfect wet dream for totalitarians, and it is the absolute nightmare for libertarians. Let's have a look at the societies of the first world. They are the Panopticon 1.5, because there is actual and potential surveillance everywhere. Think of CCTV. The cameras are everywhere and you don't know whether they're real or fake. Likewise, you don't know who is watching you with the help of your own smartphone or your computer at your workplace. And think of social media and artificial intelligence. You want to watch your every word if you don't want to end up at the receiving end of a shitstorm or worse. And there is also indirect surveillance. Think of post, bank, health insurance, health care, and civic registry. All of these agencies have an interest in your whereabouts and in what you're doing. And a fine example of applied Panopticon are random tax audits. There's heaps of literature showing that random tax audits change behavior because you don't know whether you're being watched or not, or whether or not you're next in line. Next in line here is Peter Singer's prison of animal liberation / animal rights. That is the Panopticon 2.0. Peter Singer's prison is a prison without walls. There are no concrete walls and there are no barred windows either. The walls of the animal rights prison are made of ideas, and ideas are escape-proof and bomb-proof. You can't turn ideas into gravel. The purpose of Peter Singer's prison is to lead the societies of the first world to the next level of moral excellence. Animal liberation is human liberation, and that is the key to understanding Peter Singer's ideas about a better, just and cruelty-free world. If you want to become a prisoner in Peter Singer's Panopticon 2.0, you have to have the conviction that you have to change your bad habits like eating meat or going fishing. And once you have accomplished changing your bad habits, you have liberated yourself. You have imprisoned yourself in the walls of animal rights ideas, but you're liberated. You're free. You're free, for example, to eat everything you like as long as it's vegan. These liberated inmates are so happy they can't understand why other people do not want to be happy like them. And that is probably why they are obliged, their happiness obliges them to spread the gospel. And that's what they do since decades. Since decades, they roam and preach freely in society as journalists, teachers, artists, lawyers, and politicians. And they are the vanguard of a better and cruelty-free world. And they succeed. Just have a look at the supermarket shelves with vegan products. And many products are now graced with the information vegan friendly. And all of that reminds me of a recent news item about a drug racket run from inside a prison. So there's nothing unusual in all that, with or without prison walls. Just suppose now these happy prisoners would be given the chance to mold a society according to their ideas. Surely one priority, if not the priority, would be to enforce veganism. After all, that is the practical consequence of their beliefs. But that in turn would mean that on top of all the surveillance measures I already mentioned, including social media and artificial intelligence, on top of all that, there would have to be additional instruments for control. And the nutrition squad would be one such instrument. The nutrition squad would have the powers to randomly check and search households. So again, it's the Panopticon thinking. You just don't know whether you're watched or not. The more strictly we are watched, the better we behave. But it doesn't end there. It's only the beginning. In your kitchen, there would be this little camera equipped with a meat detector and a fish detector. And only the nutrition squad would know whether that camera is real or fake. Again, the Panopticon thinking at work. The nutrition squad would also be in charge of fighting illicit trafficking of real sausages and fish fingers. Again, they would have the power to randomly search handbags and all kinds of suitable containers. And while they're at it, they would also be on the lookout for insect repellents and pesticides. Remember, for example, cockroaches are intelligent, they're social, and they're sentient. They can feel pain and suffer, and they're therefore protected. Now, suppose universal veganism is achieved and everybody is a happy vegan. Again, it wouldn't end there, because animal rights wants us to stop interfering with animals, and it wants to stop the exploitation of animals. No exploitation means, for example, no rescue dogs, no police dogs, no guide dogs. All of that is plain animal exploitation. And the same goes for pollination. Pollination in greenhouses where specially bred bumblebees are exploited. These bumblebees are sentient beings and their use has to stop. Let's leave exploitation and take the next turn. Animal rights are part and parcel of the PC package with all gender, sexism, racism, LGBT and all of that. And that brings me back to birdsong. Birdsong is an expression of male aggression and male dominance over female birds. In the animal rights prison and the future cruelty-free society, you are not allowed to enjoy birdsong, because enjoying birdsong fosters a sense of acceptance for male aggression. And that can't be. Absurd? No. That's exactly where we're heading to. Thank you for bearing with me. Cheers!